We're talking about the defense today, and yesterday, if you were with us, had some concerns about the offense. Some of you in the comments do not share our concerns about the offense, and good for you. I'm glad that you feel the way that you feel. Today, we're talking about the defense. Is there anything we could be concerned about this defense? What if I told you that there maybe was at least something concerning about Georgia's elite defense today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast?
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Thank you for being the first listen of the day with us. We are talking all things Georgia football because this just in.
Yes.
It's here this week.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Just a couple days.
He is Daniel. I am Clint. And we're glad to be here. We are your source for Georgia football, all things of it. And we got three things to talk about today. What are you not worried about on this defense? What just makes you feel like a warm blanket is wrapping you up on a nice fall day with a little bit of Weller in your hand?
Yes, naturally. Little fire in the fireplace.
What makes you feel that? Second, what gives you the opposite of that? What if somebody just came over, stripped your blanket off you, threw the Weller on the ground and said, you will like it? And we said, no, this worries me. And then lastly, what is our overall confidence in this defense? And Florida still sucks. So Daniel, let's begin with, what are we resting nice and easy about on this defense?
Goodness gracious, there are so many things to rest easy about this defense. I will tell you the one that I'm going to try to go a bit off the normal script here, right? When we said biggest shoes to fill, we on Monday's episode, we didn't say Carson Beck, even though that was the obvious answer.
It is the answer.
We try to give you a little bit of unique content, unique perspective, and so there's a million places we could go. Maybe you'll go and touch on some of those. I'm going to go a bit deeper and say, the thing that makes me rest so easy on this defense is the level of talent that we have not even seen play football yet on this defense. Georgia is more talented on the defensive side of the football than any team that they will play this entire season because they only play college football teams. And they're more talented on the defensive side of the football than any college football team in America. We know about much of the talent. We know about guys like Michael and Malachi and Kamari Lassiter and the inside backers, and we know about a lot of these kids, but the level of talent that hasn't even taken the field yet, or that barely has taken the field yet. Some of these freshman edge guys, Clint, they might come in here and just wreck a season of some team. Some of these freshman interior defensive linemen or sophomore interior defensive linemen, Christian Miller, I'm looking at you. We haven't seen a lot of them, but this might be the year that they burst onto the scene. What about an older guy like Xavier Sori? We haven't really, I know he's played. I know we've seen him on the field. But we haven't really seen what a guy like that is capable of doing. These are not talented players I'm listing off to you, Clint. These are uber talented, all-world, all-conference type of talents. And they haven't even sniffed the field yet for Georgia. They're going to sniff the field this year. And so, yes, there's so much in the known commodities category of this defense. What makes me rest easy is actually, and it's a bit weird to say, it's a bit backwards. What makes me rest easy is the unknowns on this defense because they're so good. I can't wait to see how good they
See,
are.
little zig and zag action, Daniel. When you talk about what we already know on this team, it is out there, and then you're adding more talent to that. It's almost like the last 2 years we have seen this exact same reloading
There you
system.
go. There
it's
you
almost
go.
like this is my rest easy, and it goes right into what you're doing. The head ball coach of UGA
It's him. Oh, him.
is
He's
named
him.
Kirby Smart. And he's the best defensive mind in all of college football. He's the best head coach in all of college football. And he cares about playing defense. And he cares about, again, say we can't keep people below 14 points, and I'll go out and do it. What makes me rest easy is that we've had guys transfer in and out. We've had recruiting classes. We've had a 4 ranked recruiting class, a 2nd ranked, a 1st ranked. We've had them all. We've had defensive coordinators.
Yep.
We've
had 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars starting on our defense. We've had no stars. Shout out to Dan Jackson. Starting on our defense.
Dan Jackson has put himself into a very, very good role player in college football. And you don't need to put an asterisk next to that. For a walk-on? No. For a no-star? No. Don't do that.
No.
Kirby Smart is the reason I rest easy.
Yeah.
Because unlike other schools that think it's acceptable to give up 50-plus points on the road in SEC games.
Looking at you, USC, the toughness is not the same. The physical toughness, no matter what someone might tell you, it ain't the same. Ask San Jose State.
I like to picture myself as the same level as Brad Pitt, Daniel.
Sure.
That's how I like to picture myself. Now,
that's right.
That's wildly untrue, and I can picture myself that, and people can go, "You're an idiot, Clint. You're not on the same level." But when I look at Georgia's defense, I say we are the cream of the crop because of the head ball coach in Athens.
Right.
That's why I rest easy. He's got all the players, all the talent in the world, and it's just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. That's why I rest easy. And Dog fan, that's why you should rest easy.
Love it.
Because defense ain't going anywhere.
No, it's not.
We're going to come back after these and talk about what does make us worried on this defense right after this. And this, Daniel, is game time.
Oh, game
time. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being amazing. And right now, you can go download the Game Time app or go over to gametime.co because this is where you're going to get every single ticket you need, not just for college football, but again, talk to me after the season. Like if you want to go to a concert, good on you.
That's great. I love concerts. A Wednesday night sounds like a fun time if you want to go to a concert. That sounds like a great opportunity to go to a concert.
Not concerned about that right now. I'm concerned with Saturdays in the fall. That's what I'm concerned with. And Game Time is the #1 app to get where you can buy tickets for your favorite events, and it shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, including college football. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. It's the splash zone that we saw yesterday. It's the hype. Right. The hype zone, if you will. Snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms and conditions apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Well, we got excited.
We did.
We had a warm blanket.
It felt nice. It feels good to think about this defense. Feels good. We're going to talk about our overall confidence level in segment 3. Feels good to talk about this defense. But it's not a perfect situation on the defensive side of the ball.
No.
And if you and I do one thing well, Clint, it is have the same opinions about things. But if we do 2 things well, it is find reasons to worry about things that pertain to the University of Georgia football
Yeah, no, we're
program.
really good at that. Some might say that we're very good at poking holes in other people's plans and saying why they don't work so well. That's kind of
It's the difference. It's a warm blanket in segment 1.
There
It's
it
a
is.
wet blanket in segment 2.
Glad you picked
and
it up.
We're here to be the wet blanket for you, Georgia fans. So, Clint, go ahead.
well.
Elaborate for the people.
I'll just give you a couple scenarios. You tell me that these scenarios aren't in fact possible, but in
He
a
didn't
world,
say likely, but he did
didn't
say
say like-
possible.
I said possible. And in a world, if it's possible, then it could happen, and you need to think about it. Here, let me. Our edge rush is relying on young, ultra world talented, but wildly unproven for the long haul of SEC play. Long haul, I said.
Yep.
Jalen is back there coming on third down. Michael, Marvin. Those are the top 3 pass rushers on the edge. Now, we have guys behind them. We have freshmen. We have interior guys that are going to do it. But what if I was to tell you one of those guys has a down year, either Marvin or Jalen or Michael? Opposite that is Chaz Chambliss, who has shown us he can set the edge, and he could drop back in pass coverage, but he doesn't get after the pass.
But he's been ejected for targeting.
He has
So
been ejected for hitting
that's a shame.
man here in the chest, not here. And that is targeting.
Yeah. Ship.
Ship shape. Chaz is on the other side. He's on the edge, and he's setting an edge. But what if he continues to be himself, as he's proven us, can't get after the quarterback? Marvin or Michael or Jalen has a down year, and now all of a sudden we are rotating unproven freshman lower class guys who hasn't been through the gauntlet of an SEC, and we can't get any pass rush. And on the back end, our defensive backs, Kamari Lassiter is banged up. What if his injury keeps going? On the opposite side corner, who knows who we're going to have there? Again, hockey line rotation coming on the opposite corner, trying to be solidify themselves. And we have Bullard, who might play in the safety position. And all of a sudden, you talked the other day about taking a linebacker or a hybrid guy, putting him back at star. And all of a sudden, without Christopher Smith, the stalwart, the anchor, we've talked about how important he was to last year's defense. He's gone. And Starks is back there. And but he's not Christopher Smith level yet. Not yet.
Not up here. Not in terms of the game planning.
Okay, so our pass rush is young and unproven, and if one guy has a down year and he doesn't blow up the SEC, then the edge is a problem. We rely on our linebackers to get everybody set, and they're now running with routes all the way up the seams, and our defensive backs have one injury to Kamari Lassiter that lingers. Other side of the corner is unproven, and the safety position is different from what is last year, and our defense can't get assigned properly, and there's a blown coverage on a second and long down the left side. Daniel,
You feeling the wet blanket yet? Are we?
tell
are
me
we
that's not possible, y'all, because it is.
All right. Well, I'm going to lean into my biggest worry, and in doing so, I'm going to push it back against part of yours.
I love it.
All right. I have no fear about the edge pass rush. I have no fear about the defensive front. I'm going to tell you right now, this defensive front could sustain wholesale injuries and be fine. And be absolutely fine. The depth and the quality of player that I believe that we have coming in is exceptional through and through.
Okay.
And so I have no fear about that aspect of the defense. But let's just real talk it for a second.
Please.
Kamari Lassiter, Michael Williams, Tyke Smith, Javon Bullard at safety, and somebody.
Fill in name.
Okay. I just listed up to you 5 players.
Very good players.
I don't know that you could, with a straight face, look me in the eye and tell me that you have 0 concerns about any except one of them. I honestly think it's going to ruffle some feathers. To varying degrees, 4 out of the 5 of those other players pose some level of concern on the defense. So let's quickly go through. Malachi Starks, no concerns. But he's only one guy. He can only be on one half of the field. He can only be protecting one area. Opposite corner. Let's not even talk about it. You know. You already know. Let's not go there. Tyke Smith is playing football again. So that's good.
It's good. He's not injured.
But it's been a minute since Tyke Smith was heavily relied upon in a college defense. Javon Bullard, new position, new expectations, new responsibilities.
Yep.
And if you get lost at safety for a moment, Clint, may I take you back?
Yep.
To a cathartically dumped moment in time.
No,
if you get lost at safety, even for a moment, there's some level of concern. And even Kamari Lassiter has had the benefit of playing opposite a guy like Keely Ringo. Kamari Lassiter has had the benefit of being matched up against, oftentimes, let's just call it what it is, lesser wide receivers this year. But that's not going to be the case against Tennessee this season. He might have to shoulder a bigger load. We know that there are things Kamari Lassiter does very well, but there are areas of Kamari Lassiter's game where, quite frankly, and you and I were not the highest on Keely Ringo throughout his college career, but quite frankly, there are areas of Kamari Lassiter's game where he is not Keely Ringo, and that's not a positive for him. That is an area that needs improvement. There is at least some level of concern in 4 out of 5 of these players. And if that doesn't make you a little short of breath,
this is the bucket position. Mm-hmm. If you don't know it yet, get one.
Assume it.
Assume the position, as the legend would say. We're going to come back after this, talk about the overall confidence. We've given you the warm blanket. We've given you the wet blanket. Now let's give you our take. The possibilities are endless to what we can do. Let's do a little prognostication and prophetic robe wearing if we can. But first, these. Prophetic robe wearing, Daniel.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing
for the people.
We're doing the prophetic robe wearing.
You teased it for the people, which means we may have lost most of our audience. But I'll tell you who we did not lose is the 199.
Ooh. And you know what? Let's just look. It's just us in here. It's Daniel, me, and you. 199. Mm-hmm. We'd rather just talk to you.
If we're honest, you're the people we do the podcast for.
100% for fans by
first
fans.
segment listeners, they whatever. It's fine.
Sure.
We're not kicking them out, but you're the people that we do the podcast for. By the way, the Pick'em League. Keep sending us your emails.
Come on.
Hit us up on the Twitter DM. Some of you have been saying the Twitter DMs aren't working. Whatever. I don't know. Elon Musk has broken the internet, and so I can't be held responsible for anything.
I don't think you could say his name without him wanting to.
Oh, does he now own the podcast?
I think he now owns you, your home, and the podcast. So.
Well, that's a shame. If the Twitter's not working, send us an email, lockedonbulldogs@gmail.com. We will get you the information for the Pick'em League so that you can make your selections and join us. Clint, overall confidence in this defense, where are you at? We were both in the 80s for the offense. High ceiling, potentially low floor for the offense. Where are we at for the defense, Clint?
Look, 199, I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to be real. I'm here to be a balm to your soul.
Who told you to put the balm on? I didn't tell you to put the balm on. It's preposterous. It's absurd.
There's a doctor appointment that needs to be made for you, Daniel, right now. I am thrilled to tell you that this defense is going to be the best defense Kirby Smart has had at UGA. It's going to be the best defense that we have had statistically at UGA. And
correct.
And my confident meter is 95.
99. I say just go 99, Clint.
What?
Just go
fine. Let's break the damn thing.
Turn it up to 11.
It's going to be the best defense that we have. The talent is everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You could look at the previous year's teams and you could look at strength of position and position groups and players, and you say, here's our strength, here's what we rely on, here's where we're going to go. And we did for the most part. You could look at other teams, other defenses like last year and say, okay, we took a step back talent-wise because all the guys went to the NFL. We reloaded with some guys. We had some back-end help. We had Christopher Smith back there controlling things. Malachi started brand new, yada, yada, yada. This year's team, we will have somebody new opposite Kamari Lassiter. We won't have anybody new. There'll be in new positions, but the secondary is consistently cohesive. Linebackers, beyond cohesive. Defensive line, experienced in this program for 3 years and ultra world talented. Top to bottom, we have it covered. Talent, we have it top to bottom, we have it covered. And this just in, Glenn Schumann is still DC. Kirby Smart is still head coach. And we have uber freaks that you all forgot about 2 years ago. You all forgot about 2 years ago, the guys that were coming off the edge that Kirby said, go find me 6'5", 6'3" to 6'5", 235 to 255 freak benders on the edge. And Glenn Schumann and the rest of the staff said, okay, and went and got them.
We got guys that won't play this year that could start at every team on our schedule.
Yes.
That's every team on Georgia's schedule would take CJ Madden as a starter
today,
right now.
Washington starts today.
He might not see the field in significant playing time this year, meaningful snaps. That's the level to which this defense is. We honestly, peek behind the curtain, we normally do position group rankings on the podcast in the offseason. We normally come through and go position group by position group, and we rank them preseason. We rank our overall level of confidence in them. We couldn't really do that for the defense because it would just be boring. And that's the way a lot of these position groups are. What are you going to say about the safeties? 99.
Sure.
What are you going to say about the linebackers? 99. The edge, 99. The defensive front, 99. What are you going to say about the tight ends? 99. I know that was yesterday. The offensive line, 99. It's boring to rank these position groups. It's boring to talk about this defense because you've got to really squint to find something to worry about. Even for us.
So more pessimistic than you and I to actually have validity in a statement where you're poking holes on this defense. I said, here's a case. And I said, one guy out of three doesn't hit and we have to rely. That's a possibility, but the possibility is this small. Okay. It's still there, but it's this small. You have to be making facts up, Daniel.
I was listening to a national college football podcast,
well, that was
which I will not name. And the two hosts were talking, and one of the hosts said, I guess there's a chance that Georgia doesn't win the national championship. And the other host said, how? And the first host said, well, maybe their defense falls off a little bit. And then they just sat there in silence for what felt like 10 seconds. And then came back and said, but Georgia's probably going to win the national championship. This is there's no... In the comments, please let us know, is there any reason that you should be below a 99 overall level of confidence in this defense?
And don't just say, well, they have to go out and prove it. We understand that.
Confidence comes before you go out and prove it. So that's what that is. That is the thing that you carry out there to prove it.
Because at the end, it's not confidence for me to say, I feel confident that 2 years ago defense is going to be the best statistical defense in the history of college football. That's not confidence.
No,
That's
just learning. That's just called learning something.
Okay. Confidence is 99. You tell us why not. Tell us in the comments. You let us know over on Twitter. Get in the Pick'em League. Come back tomorrow where, y'all.
What's tomorrow, Clint?
Let me. It's locks, Daniel.
You got a full card or you got a pretty light card this week?
It's getting bigger.
It's a full card. Okay? Come back tomorrow. We walk you through the entire weekend of college football, give you the best bets to tomorrow on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.